Morning, welcome back, guys. Just doing a quick follow-up video since we had a nice active week last week. We did get to the lower levels that we were looking for. Almost 58,000 is what I was looking for. We came just to 60,000, got a nice little buy up. Now, a lot of people are asking, hey, what's going on? Is this the bottom? Can we go lower? This, that, and the other. The news is portraying all kind of headlines like this is the cause, this is the reason, blah blah blah. If you go back to the last two videos I made, we were looking for this to happen. We didn't care what news narratives were portrayed. We were still looking for a correction, which is a healthy thing for the market to do, so that way we can find and consolidate the fair price from buyers and sellers agreeing, and then we can continue our trajectory, hopefully in an upward trend. Now, one I want to point out is on the weekly, what all we did, okay, with minus all the news, minus all the panic and fear, all we did was come back and retest support. We were looking for this $58,000, $60,000 area to come and get tested anyway, and that's what we did. Now, in my opinion, since that volume of the sell was so high, yes, this week can open in 6 hours. We can open a new weekly candle and do a test a little bit higher as to where we broke down last week. If you go and hear my video, I was saying a test into 75,000 is not out of the cards after the test of 75, and if we can hold the close above it, we can go and retest into almost 90,000 and reject and then find another leg down. That is completely possible, that is completely logical, and that should not scare anyone, even though those are like $10,000, $20,000 moves. We're talking about an asset that's $120,000. $10,000 is like less than 10%, okay, of a $120,000 move. Bitcoin actually had that 10% correction during that dump. Altcoins such as Solana had almost like a 30% dump. Now, Solana, if you actually take a quick look at it, not only did it have a 30% dump, but it actually had a 30% retrace right back after that dump from the $68 low all the way back almost to like $90. That's $30, okay? You're looking at almost a 25-30% retrace, okay? Dead cat bounce is what I would say. Silver did the exact same thing. This is what we were looking for it to have that dead cat bounce and then see if the downward consolidation occurs. You had that bounce right off of $66 and you're basically consolidating around $70-$80. That's to be expected. Now, on all three of these assets that we just mentioned, silver, gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything, I expect us to consolidate the lows. Now, what does that mean? We are going to probably grind out these lows for a few weeks before a quick move back up. Now, you can see this nice little gap on CME on Ethereum. Did we do one on Bitcoin as well? We did it on Bitcoin as well. I expect those gaps, those are price inefficiencies. I expect those gaps to fill. Once price action fills those gaps, we can consider like the consolidation to be complete. So once it's filled, if we consolidate back lower, then we'll look like, okay, the dead cat bounce is over. Now we can consolidate these lows. And then once we claim it back up, then we'll say, hey, these lows are cemented, for the next expansion to the upwards situation. So just keep all that in mind, that you have no reason, if you're feeling an emotion, that let's just clarify that. If you're feeling, oh, you're missing the bottom, or oh, we're going lower, and if you're feeling FUD for missing the low, and if you're feeling panic and fear that we can go lower, or if you're feeling FOMO is what I meant to say, like, oh, you're missing the low, those feelings need to be put on ice. When you're trading these assets, since you're having these big moves, the market is trying to make you feel an emotion, to make a decision off of your emotion. You should not be emotional. When the dump was coming, you should have been ready to buy at this level at 60 to 58, knowing that yes, we could go lower, but your whole point was to be a dollar cost averaging into your position. There's no reason for you to sell your wife, house, and kids and expect to catch the trade in one swing, like one trade. You're not going to buy all in at one point. You need to understand a range and consolidate in a range. Now, what do I mean by consolidate in a range? So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 7 weeks of consolidating in this range between 80,000, 87,000, and 76,000, that $10,000 range for 6 to 8 weeks before you saw an expansion. We are going to do another example: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. 10 weeks in between 83,000 and 93,000, that $10,000 range. So you understand that $10,000 range, 10,000. What are we doing now? This is our first week down here. Give it like 4 or 5 weeks, guys. All of February is probably going to consolidate in this range. You're probably going to make a descending triangle. I'm not going to draw stuff because if I draw stuff, you'll see all my other doodles, and I don't want you getting excited off of what I'm expecting price to do. Just base your own uh, make your own decision from the information I'm giving you. This is not financial advice. This is just how I do what I do. And if you can get into that mindset, that might help you avoid feeling the FOMO and the FUD. And that's all my job is. This kind of just help you establish the correct mindset for being a trader or a investor in an asset such as crypto, which has very volatile swings. Do not get pushed out on these volatile swings if you're a long-term investor. If you're a trader, then these swings is your bread and butter. Volatility is a trader's blood. Like that's where you make your money when things move up and down. You just need to know your levels properly, and you can make your livelihood. If you're an investor, these big moves is only an advantage for you to dollar cost average if you're under your average. If you're above your average and it's still at a certain, like if you bought your Bitcoin under 60,000 and it comes to 60,000, why are you not doing what MicroStrategies is doing and dollar cost averaging in? Right? MicroStrategy stock was also something I pointed out that I was looking for the $100 level to tap, right? Where's MicroStrategy? MicroStrategy. You had a 26% pump off the low, but we were looking for this $100 level to tap, right? And what did we come to? 105. So just shy of what I wanted to come to. Now I don't know what you guys see, but I see a huge sell volume. Oh, did they already get their earnings out? Yeah, so they didn't do that great with earnings, okay? Negative 53,000%. That's insanity. So right now, I do think MicroStrategy can put it in a rounding bottom over here. They can grind out these lows between 146 to $88. So do you need to chase it here this week? No. When next week opens, if you see a pushback down into this wick is a price efficiency. Someone either got liquidated or the institution probably were just trying to snipe this low. And what they did is when they bought this up, they did a short squeeze on people who are selling the low, and people who sold the bottom are probably panicked like, oh, they missed the low or they sold the low and they're rebuying and they're basically going to get chopped up in this consolidation. My word of advice to all the people listening: be patient and dollar cost average in over the next 6 to 8 weeks. That's how long I expect these lows to consolidate. And then once the lows are put in, let's say after, shout out to Michelle, after the taxes are done here in the US around April, that's when a lot of the people who are rebalancing their portfolios or they're profit taking for taxes, all the people who are doing their books, okay, they're going to be done around April unless they file for extension and blah, 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 blah. But all those people around April will be done with whatever they need to do. And that's when you can assume consolidation will come to a close at near the end of April, okay, until I think it's like October or November again. So keep all these dates in mind. They are very important. That's kind of like how these cycles occur. So that's the point I'm trying to make at about these things. You didn't miss the bottom. You didn't miss the top. It's just right now all the people who are buying or who bought greedily are in the red and they're panicking. Well, if they were all in, they should be in panic. If they were dollar cost average in, what they should be doing right now is doubling up their dollar cost average amount. Whatever they were DCAing over here, now you should be increasing your amount, because these lows might just be here for 6 to 8 weeks. So you have a month of payroll to put into the market at these lows to get your averages as nicely as possible. And then when this reverses out of here, you can close out in profit what you doubled down on, and you could basically have a better average, and you can pull your equity back out and go back to cash and do whatever you want. The point of the matter is, this is an opportunity. Don't waste it. Do not be fearful. Yes, we can go lower, and it's 100% possible we can go lower, but the probability of us staying down for a long term period is less likely than us putting in the low within the next 2 to 3 months, and then after the quarter is over, just reversing out of here and making new highs. Because fundamentally, nothing has occurred fundamentally to destroy the faith of crypto yet, other than the fact that yes, we have fear of this quantum computing ruining, crypto. But if you're in it for the tech, you understand that Bitcoin adopters can fork Bitcoin to a new hashing algorithm. You don't have to use the same algorithm once quantum breaks it. The devs of Bitcoin can do a fork, and whoever doesn't want to join the hard fork for the sake of quantum resistance can keep the old chain, and they can either live or die by the old chain, or they can go with the fork with the rest of the community and move forward, because that's how we are going to have to adopt technology, is through hard forks. And if you've been in Bitcoin for the last 10, 15 years, you understand how many hard forks have we gone through. Okay, we had Satoshi Vision, we had that green Bitcoin, we had what was his name, Roger Ver, I forgot, Bitcoin Jesus, whatever his name is. He made a coin. Bitcoin Cash came out. There's all these different variations of Bitcoin. Even Ethereum was a freaking hard fork of Bitcoin. They changed few parameters of the code. So 90% of the coins out, 99% of the coins out right now are basically forks of coins previously made. So the point of the matter is, Bitcoin knows how to survive if quantum computing does break the hashing algorithm. There will be momentary fear in the market, and you'll see those fluctuations in the market. But, like, if you're a long-term investor and you believe in the long-term vision, then those opportunities will be buying opportunities for you. And yeah, that's how you need to see it. Like, do not get fudded out, and do not sell your house, your wife, and your kids to go all in. Dollar cost average in. You will have opportunities, and that's basically the point of this video. Is do not be fearful. I, when you see red, it's an opportunity. When you see green, don't be greedy. Take profits. Okay, there you go. So those are the levels I'm looking for. I'm expecting us to consolidate between 70,000, 75,000. Okay, I don't want to go too much higher than 75. If you go above 75 and you start opening and closing candles above 80, then this wick can be the low for a while. We can make a higher rounding bottom and get out of here. And as you close weekly candles above 75, 80, this 58,000 average will actually come into this wick, and it will show you that yes, this was the bottom. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You have time to dollar cost average in. You don't need to have the exact bottom. You don't need to have the exact top. If Bitcoin is putting in its cycle low here around 60,000, then when we get back above 125, you're going to see it go parabolic again. So maybe 200, 250, 300,000. Usually you see a double, okay? 100% gain. So if we're at 125, going to 250 per Bitcoin is not illogical. It is very probable, especially because of how much money is going to be coming in globally, not just US dollars. Every country that goes printing, that country's population is probably going to be putting in money into Bitcoin, like El Salvador and all the other countries. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay, so we're done with Bitcoin's range. Ethereum's range. Okay, what I would be looking for is these lows have not been tapped yet. They are protecting this original low wick doji over here to the left around 1700, this thing right here. So as long as we're above 1700, I would still hold faith that this is going to be a higher low. If you look left, we've done this before. Okay, we've already made a little descending triangle that turned into an ascending triangle and then broke out. Okay, we're doing something very, very similar here. As long as we hold above 1700, we can make in a higher low here, grind out into this, like maybe even go all the way into 1600, 17, 1600, grind it out, close candles above, like let's say 2000. Once we get back above 2000, everyone's going to be like, okay, bottom is in, and then we're going to just expand out like we did before. Be aware, this is kind of very, very similar to what Bitcoin did when Bitcoin hit like around 5,000. We pulled back like this, and then we went to 7,500, pulled back to 5,000, like around 3 to 5,000, and then we basically went to 10,000, 12,000, 12,500, 1,800, came back to 1,500, 15,000, went to 18,000 to 20,000, came back down to 13,000. So get ready for those wild swings. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. If you have long-term faith in Ethereum being a long-term asset here, these are buying opportunities. If you start buying and you start seeing price going under 1,300, slow down your DCA. Maybe decide like, hey, maybe we won't go back up, okay? But under 1,300 is when your warnings come in. Above 1,300 to 1,700 is a sweet, sweet spot to dollar cost average in, because whoever bought institution wise in this range, okay, in this little range over here, they all will be defending that price. Once price goes under it, that means they themselves gave up. Okay, then why? Who do you think you are? Okay, to be able to defend a multi-billion-dollar asset if the billionaires who bought up the asset are no longer holding. Vitalik, the owner, the creator of the coin himself, sold. All right, when the owner of the coin himself sells, it destroys long-term investors' faith in the project itself. The Vitalik was bashing the dev team, going like, "You guys have to develop because Ethereum has no use case compared to coins like Solana, who have faster and cheaper transaction rate." That kind of stuff is not what you want to hear from the from the owner of the coin, bashing his own dev team. Like, why would you have long-term faith in this coin if that guy's doing it? I'm not saying I don't love Ethereum. I love Ethereum, but my faith in Ethereum has kind of gone to Solana. So I have more faith in Solana at this point. Oh, sorry guys, that's my alarm. I gotta get going. So that's what I'm trying to say is I have a little bit more faith in Solana because their devs are active. Solana's prediction market is going wild. The meme coins, all the craziness on Solana has more people and eyes on it. So I have more of a possibility of a return on Solana than Ethereum, but Ethereum should be considered the silver of Bitcoin's gold, and Solana is copper. And that's how I would establish, if you were going to relate metals to the crypto, that's kind of how I would say, gold, silver, and copper are very important, but you can find gold, silver, and copper in the moon, on asteroids, and we're going to be interplanetary, like we're going to be multi-planetary species very, very soon. But you can't go mine Bitcoin out of the ground. You can't get more Ethereum out of the ground unless you stake it. Stuff like that is kind of like how I would mentally relate those assets. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, guys. I don't think you guys should be scared. I think you should be buyers in this red market. I don't think the bottom is in. We are going to consolidate these lows for a while. The people who think the lows are in and who go like heavy leverage and buy in, they're the ones who will help the consolidation occur, because that liquidity that they're buying all in on leverage, they're all going to get liquidated on the way down, and it causes the liquidation capitulation to go a little bit harder and faster. And all that is good for the traders. That's only good for traders because it's all short-term moves. Long-term investors consider this a buying opportunity because these levels probably won't be seen for the next 5 to 10 years, if ever. We might not see these levels ever again if crypto is doing what it's supposed to. And once we consolidate these lows and we go up higher, that's it. These are hard assets. You cannot create, mine, find. You're not, that's this, whatever is out is out. It's different than gold and silver. All right. So that's the point I'm trying to make. I hope this video was informative and helpful. If you guys have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, please leave a like. Hit the thumbs up button so I make these videos on a weekly basis right now. But if the momentum gets good with your guys' engagement, I will make more videos like frequently. If there's an asset that you guys would like covered, please leave it in the comment section below and I will make a video on it. It doesn't need to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, or gold or silver. Let me know stock market wise. If you got a ticker that you would like me to look up, I would be more than happy to do that. This is literally what I do because this is what I love. I love doing. So I appreciate the challenge of you guys showing me an asset or bringing an asset to my attention for me to break down to you to show you what I think about it. And then feel free to pile it on and destroy my analysis and show me where I can improve, show me where I'm lacking. So it's a give and take relationship I'm trying to establish here. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, be safe. Talk to you guys soon. See you in the next one.